Hi, it's James Harrison here to talk about the next daily drumming influences. Remember, these were originally posted in 2012, and I'm revisiting them this year. And they're posted in an order and the way that I was exposed to this drummer or became aware of this drummer, and they became a huge influence on me. And today, it is a local drummer from Murray, Kentucky. I lived in Murray, I grew up in Murray. His name was Barry James, and everybody in Murray knew who Barry James was. Barry and his parents had a store in town. I think it was originally called TV Service Center, and it became World of Sound. It got more into car stereos and stuff. But Barry was a few years older than I was, at least four. Yeah, at least 4 years, possibly 5 years older than I was. And he had a band in town, and one time I got to go watch them practice at that TV Service Center warehouse or whatever it was, which was down on 4th Street in Murray back in the day. And then they moved over to 12th Street and built that World of Sound building forever. And he had a room built next to that with soundproofing stuff, and had his drum set in there. And Barry was a part of several bands over the time. Excuse me. Several bands over time, and he was always super nice to me and let me hang out, watch, learn from him. Barry was a rock drummer, pretty much a self-taught rock drummer. Every now and then, I gave him a sheet that I used to teach from, and he's like, "Oh, this is great! I can, it'll help me do this and whatnot." He was just so cool. He let me use his drums before on gigs. He bought some Ames drum shells and stained them. And then eventually ended up painting them a couple times. And that inspired me to redo one of my kits one time. And he was just always nice and let me do whatever I needed. He was a great guy. It was great hanging out with him. He was funny as hell. And, watching him through the different bands that he had, I remember one time my grandmother lived on a street called Woodlawn, the next street over. I'm drawing a blank. I think it was 15th Street, but I'm not sure. But there was a guy who played bass, and his name was Eddie Clyde. That's what we called him, I think. But I don't know if he lived there or whatnot, but they set up in the backyard and played a thing one time. And I was standing on the bush, on this side of the bushes, watching them play in that backyard, because the streets were back to back to each other. And whatnot. But anyway, Barry was great. I actually have a snare drum. I call it my Barry James snare drum. Barry ordered a couple of them when he bought this custom kit from Ames, and I ended up buying one of them. And actually, on the inside, it says "Made for Barry James." I still have that drum. Barry passed away several years ago from cancer, but I remember when I originally posted this, he called me up, and he was literally crying. He was so thankful and just that I recognized him as being such a great guy and a great drummer. And anyway, he was a huge influence on me in a lot of ways. And most people are not going to know who he is, but I know, and the people of Murray, Kentucky, who grew up in Murray or had been there, from the 70s on till the 2000s, know who Barry James is and was. So today, the drumming influence, Barry James.